With over 400 stores across 50 countries, IKEA has finally arrived in New Zealand. And the big question is simple: are the prices actually good, or are we getting rinsed? I spent hours with my very expensive assistant digging into IKEA's 100 top selling products around the world. In this video, we're going to compare New Zealand prices to Australia and the UK. Some of these 100 products are ones that Kiwis have been importing through resellers for many years, usually at wild markups. So in this video, we'll look at two things. One, we'll quickly explore what the hype is around IKEA. And two, we will run through the 100 top sellers to finally answer the question, did IKEA bring its real deals to New Zealand or not? Some of the results genuinely shocked me, so let's get into it. IKEA is a Swedish retailer founded way back in 1943. Today, they're one of the biggest furniture retailers on the planet with stores in more than 50 countries. They might be new here, but they entered Australia in 1975, which means it took them 50 years to cross the ditch. IKEA invented flat pack furniture, which made transporting products cheaper and faster. The trade-off is that you become the unpaid assembly worker. But that efficiency is a big part of why their prices can be so competitive. In the New Zealand market, IKEA sits right in the middle. At the premium end, we have stores like Harvey Norman and Freedom, and at the low end, we have Kmart and The Warehouse. IKEA fills the space in between with very high quality products at a very fair price for what you get. Plus, being European, sustainability is at the heart of what they do, so often you can buy add-ons or replacement parts to extend the life and usefulness of their products. So no, it is unlikely to be cheaper than Kmart, but in my experience, the quality is much higher. So I, for one, am very excited to see them here. No matter where you are in the country, you can buy their products 24/7 online and have them delivered to one of 30 delivery centers across the country. Now, when I moved to Singapore in 2013, IKEA was one of the very first stops. Then I moved to Sydney in 2017, and it was the same. But when we moved back to New Zealand in 2019, we visited IKEA resellers and couldn't believe the markups from what we were used to. Many have now depleted their stock, but one still has traces of what once was. This bed, now retailing for $549 at IKEA, was once sold at $899 at an unnamed retailer. This daybed and mattress combo was sold at over $1,300, but is now $400 cheaper at our new store. Now, we shouldn't blame them as they needed to make a profit, but I show this as a sign of what once was. So if you're living in New Zealand and have been wanting IKEA furniture, now is the time to finally pay normal prices for it. But the question remains, has IKEA brought their best prices to New Zealand? Surprisingly, they've done a lot better than I expected. Let's first take a look at storage and shelving, one of IKEA's specialties. Where better to start than the Billy bookcase? Since 1979, IKEA has sold 140 million of these bookcases, and even today, it is said that one is sold every 5 seconds. By a whisker, New Zealand has a higher price than Australia, with the UK having the sharpest price at around $20 less. Kallax shelves are another popular product for cheap and easy shelving. New Zealand has the best pricing here, coming in slightly below Australia. Besta shelves are cheapest over in the UK. The Ivar shelving units are slightly cheaper in Australia, with New Zealand roughly on par with the UK. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this one, but it comes in cheapest in Australia. Lax shelves, a very common item, are cheapest in the UK and most expensive in Australia. These storage units are lowest priced in the UK, but once again New Zealand pricing is in the middle. Brawl shelves are cheapest in Aussie, with New Zealand priced in the middle. TV units are cheaper in Australia by about $150 and most pricey in the UK. And it's the same for the TV benches, with New Zealand priced in the middle. For modular boxes, which you can stack together, the UK has the lowest prices, with New Zealand a little above the prices in Australia. This is consistent for the Platzer range and the Eket. The Brawl cabinet is priced cheapest in Australia and slightly higher in New Zealand. And finally, the Hemnes cabinet comes in cheapest in New Zealand by about $45. Totaling up the prices of all the shelving and storage items that we've looked at, the price in New Zealand would be $4,723. Australia is roughly 6% cheaper, while the UK is 7.2% more expensive. This is pretty fair, I think, when we consider the differences in the rate of GST. In Australia, the rate is 10%, New Zealand 15%, and the UK 20%. So if we were to make the prices GST exclusive, the prices in the segment would be very similar. Next along we have beds and bedroom. If you have never built a bed from IKEA before, make sure you carve out a couple hours if you don't have power tools. Starting with the classic Malm bed, IKEA has given New Zealand a competitive price here at $399. Next along is the Tarawa bed, with Australia having the best price here. There's also the Slatten bed, roughly $10 cheaper in Australia. Here's another bed option, lowest priced in the UK, with New Zealand priced in the middle. And there's the Hemnes bed frame, cheaper by only a couple dollars in New Zealand. The final bed we're looking at is the Brimness bed with storage underneath, priced cheapest in New Zealand. Some of the other beds, like Malm, have the storage option as well, and what you'll find with IKEA is there is a lot you can add on to customize the products to your needs. Looking over now at mattresses, the Afgel single foam option comes in at $149, just a couple dollars higher than in Australia. And there's the Valley Vag, lowest priced in New Zealand at $399. So between the queen-sized frame and the mattress, you could buy a complete bed for anywhere between $500 and $1,000. This is way below what we're used to. Next along we have the chest of drawers. The Malm set of 4 drawers is the lowest price in Australia, with New Zealand and the UK priced about the same. Then we have the Cullen range of 6 drawers, where New Zealand was priced the highest across these 3 countries. The final item in the bedroom range is the wardrobes. IKEA has modular options like the PAX range with hundreds of combinations possible. They have piecemeal options as well as wardrobe combinations that come as a set. For these 2 PAX combinations, the pricing in the UK is very sharp, while New Zealand has a much higher price for the same items. The Boxall is a cheaper range, with New Zealand having the sharpest prices on these as well. And for a standalone wardrobe, the Brimness option is lowest priced slightly in Australia. Summed up, the prices aren't too dissimilar across all 3 countries, with New Zealand in the middle at $6,294. Australia is $23 more expensive, while the UK roughly $100 cheaper. Next, let's take a look at the heaviest range, the sofas and armchairs. First, we have the Clip-In 2-seat sofa, priced $20 lower in Australia. Then we have the 2-seater Ektorp, priced a whopping $120 lower in Australia, but $130 higher over in the UK. The Frighten sofa, which you can pull out to make into a bed, is lowest price in New Zealand. The Vimley 3-seater sofa is priced $95 more in New Zealand than Australia. And New Zealand is priced in the middle for the Soderham 3-seater sofa. The Vimley 3-seater with chase is priced slightly lower in Australia. And then we have the 3-seater Kiwis with chase, followed by the same price pattern. What is consistent across all 7 of these sofas is that they're way more expensive in the UK. And it's true too for the armchairs. This armchair is priced lowest in Australia and highest in the UK. And the ever-famous Strandmon chair follows the same pattern, with New Zealand priced $50 more expensive than Australia. Summing up the price of all sofas and armchairs, in New Zealand we would pay $7,791. Australia charges 8% less, but the UK is a whopping 27% more expensive than New Zealand for the exact same products. That equates to over $2,000. So far, IKEA looks like they're bringing a pretty good deal to New Zealand. They have to charge 5% more than Australia for the GST and ship the products that extra little bit further. Let's see if that trend continues, jumping over into the tables and desks section. The Linmon Olive desk is cheaper in Australia by about $20. The Mickey desk, on the other hand, is priced highest in New Zealand and lowest in the UK. And the Trodden desk that goes up and down is priced roughly the same across all 3 countries, but lowest in Australia. Next, we have a laptop stand, once again priced lowest in Australia. When it comes to coffee tables, New Zealand has the lowest prices at $90. The famous Lakeside table is cheaper in Australia, however, with New Zealand having the highest price. And the UK has the lowest price for the Malm dressing table, and New Zealand having the highest price once again. Summing up the prices of desks and tables, New Zealand costs $1,211. The UK would have cost 6.4% less, while Australia comes in at 8.7% less. So for tables and desks, IKEA charges a little bit more in New Zealand. Moving along, we have dining and chairs. Kicking off with the Lisabo dining table, it's priced highest in New Zealand, but lowest in the UK. The Skogster dining table is priced lowest in Aussie, slightly lower than in New Zealand. There is also the Verhals extended table, priced lowest in Australia on their current promotion, with New Zealand priced slightly higher. Starting with kids' chairs, we have the Ingolf range, priced cheapest in Australia. Then we have the Theodore's chair, once again lowest in Australia. The Odger chair, however, is lowest priced in New Zealand, as well as the Frosted chair. The Stefan, however, comes in lowest priced once again in Australia. And finally, there's the Marcus office chair, with Australia leading the pack once again. Altogether, New Zealand would cost $2,343. This is 5.4% more than Australia and 8.6% lower than the UK, once again roughly lining up with the difference in GST rates. Let's now look at textiles and rugs. The popular Stockholm rug is cheapest in Australia by $56. It's the same for the low-hull jute rug by roughly $33. New Zealand has the cheapest price on the Vitmosa throw at just $4.50. In the curtain range, the UK is lowest price for the Lender range, while Australia wins for the block-out curtains. For cushion covers, Australia has the lowest price on the girly range, and for tea towels, once again Australia wins there. Interestingly, the UK charges 18.4% more than New Zealand, so we're bang in the middle when it comes to textiles and rugs. It's about time we look at a segment where New Zealand comes out on top, and that would be the storage and organisation category. Many Kiwis already spend a lot at the likes of Kmart or the warehouse on these items, so you might find a bargain here. Starting off, we have the Drona fabric box with the lowest prices found in the UK. For a set of scub storage boxes, New Zealand has the lowest prices. And we once again come out on top for the 45-litre Samler storage boxes, and by quite some margin. Over at the warehouse, they charge $10 for a similar box, with IKEA's option looking a lot more sturdy. Australia beats us on the Cougar storage boxes, and for cardboard boxes for documents and such, the UK has us beat. The iconic blue IKEA bags are currently on promotion at just $1 each in New Zealand, beating both the UK and Australia. Or in Japan, they even make bucket hats for $3 each, made of the same material, but unfortunately for us, they aren't currently sold here for the summer. If you need resealable bags, IKEA also sells their Istad range, with Australia having the sharpest pricing on these. Wooden crates are lowest priced in New Zealand, and the Raskog trolley comes in lowest too at just $35. And finally, we have shelf inserts that allow us to stack items in storage. Here, New Zealand comes out on top. Overall in New Zealand, these organisational storage items would set us back $124. This is 16.7% cheaper than Australia and 54% cheaper than the UK. Moving along, let's check out lights. Starting with floor lamps, New Zealand has the lowest prices for their Hector range. For the Vidya range, Australia has us beat. Moving on to desk lamps, New Zealand comes in with the lowest prices on their Ranup range and their Tertial range. I think that's how you say it. There is also this little table light, with Australia charging around $6 less than New Zealand. They also sell these ceiling spotlights with 4 units, with the UK charging the lowest price. And finally, there's this pendant light selling for the lowest price in Australia. With the lowest levels of GST, it's no surprise to know Australia has the lowest prices for lights, coming in 5.3% cheaper. The UK, on the other hand, is priced 15.9% more expensive than New Zealand, so they're getting a worse deal than we are. Kitchenware and cookware is another big segment for IKEA, so let's check that out. Food containers are a huge product for New Zealand, and particularly in my household. IKEA charges $6 in New Zealand for glass containers with a lid, while in the UK they don't bundle them oddly. Unfortunately, Australia has us beat on the price for these, and their bundle pack on plastic containers as well. Mugs come in slightly cheaper in Australia, as do plates and bowls. But less than $1, they're still a pretty good deal. Kids cutlery, a set of 16, comes in more expensive than Australia and the UK. With metal bowls, New Zealand is priced roughly in the middle. All cooking equipment, from pots to frying pans and cast iron pans, are all priced lower in Australia. But to dry the kitchenware, New Zealand has the lowest prices on the dish drainer. Spice racks are priced reasonably high in New Zealand compared to Australia and the UK, and on step stools, Australia has the lowest price. And finally, on a coffee plunger, yes, that's right, Australia is once again out on top. All up, this would set us back $339 in New Zealand. Australia costs 15.6% less, while the UK would be 27.6% more. Our second to last category now is decor and accessories. An artificial plant, specifically the weeping fig option, is lowest priced in New Zealand at just $100. A multifunction clock, thermometer, alarm and timer is priced slightly lower over the ditch. Clothes hangers are priced lowest in the UK, and frames are lowest priced in New Zealand. Mirrors, on the other hand, are priced highest in New Zealand and lowest once again in Australia. This set would cost $253 in New Zealand, 5.4% more than Australia, and 11.1% less than the UK. And finally, we have the bathroom and laundry section. The gel laundry bag, which I've owned a couple times, is the cheapest in Australia. It's the same too for the Veskin narrow table, which can tuck into tight bathroom spaces. The UK has the most competitive pricing on their bamboo shelving units and this cute octopus drying hanger. So for bathroom and laundry items, the UK has the sharpest pricing. When we look at everything we've compared in this video, all 100 items, Australia has the best pricing for 56 of them. This was followed by New Zealand on 24 and the UK on 20. But in total, if we were to buy all 100 items, Australia would cost us $23,155. In New Zealand, it would be $24,444, and the UK, $27,379. So IKEA in Australia is 5.3% less expensive than New Zealand, and in the UK, 12% more. So has IKEA brought their A game? I would say a big yes. Even if we didn't consider Australia is 5% better off due to their lower tax rates, a 5% difference for New Zealand is pretty good. Often, brands would come here and charge a much higher premium. So I, for one, am pretty impressed by IKEA's pricing here and look forward to visiting their store once the crowds die down. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to my channel. I've posted over 250 videos exploring personal finance, investing, and buying your first home in Australia and New Zealand. So if you're interested in growing your wealth, check out some of the other videos that I post, including these ones over here on how to get started. If you've been to IKEA, let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to catching you on the next one. Cheers!